I'm here with Netta to talk about Smackbound's upcoming sophomore record, Hostage, out April 21st on Frontiers Music. Always a pleasure to have you on the channel. So thank you very much for taking the time. And how are you doing today?
It's my pleasure to be in your show, Pedro. I'm doing fine. It's Friday evening and I'm drinking tea and talking to you.
Ah, so I couldn't get it.
I'm excited about the album.
Yes, exactly. So let me start off by asking you this. The first record was 2020, which is very important for people like me that now needs glasses. We need our vision to be 2020. And this one is Hostage. Are you a hostage? Do you feel hostage?
No. At times, yes. During COVID, yes, because it's the album has been written during COVID, and not being able to do your job because everything was shut down and musicians were not allowed to work. And of course, there's a lot of feelings of in a way being hostage in your own life because you can't decide and you're kind of held back from everything you would normally do. But no, it is not about me. That none of the albums tell my story as per se that I feel hostage. I'm a very free person, and even if that's like I was born as a freedom fighter. So if I even see something, far away that kind of looks like hostage situation in life, I'll be running the other way. That's why I kind of, I have an alarm going on. So
I love the fact that you're unlike people in horror movies. When they hear a noise in the basement, instead of going towards the noise in the basement, you run in the complete opposite way.
Yes. I don't understand why the hell they are going there. It's insane. Like, you have been warned.
Don't you hear the music? The music,
yeah, exactly.
The music tells you it's not good. Whatever's happening there, it's not good. So I'm glad that you don't fall under that criteria. Now, when you look back at 2020 and you look back at Hostage in terms of the starting process, how it all ended up being, which of the two records ended up being more demanding and more challenging for you?
Oh my God. Everything's so challenging. I'm so tired. Well, with this second album, with Hostage, the situation was that we started it, summer 2020. We started to write when COVID hit and everything was closed. We lost our jobs. And we said that let's go to the summer camp and, summer cabin and let's start writing because there's nothing we can do now. And that's when we wrote Change. One sunny morning when we were feeling down, I think it was the second morning when we were there, and it was like, why are we doing music? Like, it's, everything's ruined. And then we had an idea about mimosas. And I asked the guys, like, should we take mimosas? We have sparkling wine and we have orange juice. Should we do mimosas? Yes, orange juice. And then Tuomas doesn't even drink wine. It was me and Vivi and Tuomas. We usually, the three of us write all the songs. That's always been that way. And sometimes Teemu and Rolf will join our search. But basically, the team is the three of us. And Tuomas doesn't drink wine. I drink wine. Billy drinks wine. Tuomas only beer. But everybody said, like, yeah, let's try mimosas. Let's try mimosas. Yes, please do us mimosas. And then we got to this whole other state of mind from being like, we don't want to be here anymore. We don't want to write, to this perfect summer day when everything was bubbly and beautiful and life was good. And that's when we wrote Change. And I think it, for us, at least, it still holds the same feeling than when we wrote it. So it's very like uplifting every time I hear it, and I hope everybody else hears that also. But yeah, we started doing this in summer 2020, and then I got sick. I had health problems a lot, and I lost my kind of mobility. I couldn't, like, my husband was washing my hair and helping me eat, and I lost my voice because I lost all my muscles. So you know, the voice is, throat is also voice muscles. So I had a lot of difficulties to talk and everything. So we kind of put everything on hold or for unlimited time because I didn't have any energy to do. I had other problems
Yeah,
than
yeah, you
music,
had bigger
and
problems.
I didn't feel like writing at all. I didn't feel like giving anything out of me or telling anything. I had to turn inwards and try to heal. And well, then of course music business is music business, and then we got a deadline from the label saying that in 1.5 months we have to give them the master. And we had drums to maybe did we have drums to 6 songs. We didn't have any lyrics. We were lacking a lot of songs. So in this last 1.5 months, we were literally going crazy trying to make this album happen. And that's, at times I felt like a hostage there. At times. But yeah, that is what was different about this album, that the pressure was huge. So it made me work in a much more intuitive way because I didn't have any time to analyze, rethink, be the perfectionist who kind of destroys everything I've done the other, yesterday. So we had to move really fast and trust the first instinct. And that, in a way, was very healing also, to understand that it's like the gut feeling is usually it's like it's okay, you can trust it a lot. Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad thing. Like you don't have to analyze everything and doubt everything and trying to work things over and over in your head. You can just listen to the gut feeling more, the instinct, and go with it, because this is what happened with this album. And I didn't have time to think of the lyrics. They were kind of the first lyrics that came to mind. So everything was really like, I don't know, organic in a way. And that's how it was very different to do this album. And we were all next to dead when we handed the master, because I had been up before I went to the mastering. I had been up for 58 hours, singing, still writing lyrics, editing everything, and Tuomas was mixing because we didn't have any time slot to ask an outsider to mix because we didn't have anything to mix before last minute. So Tuomas was mixing all the time, and I was trying to do the songs and record them and edit the lyrics. And I recorded I think 3 songs with Tuomas one day, and then there was a problem with the mic. There was something wrong with the mic, so we got this weird sound like I was singing in a can, soup can. And we tried to salvage a lot of things, but I had to re-sing some of the songs that were worse with that microphone that day, and it was a mayhem to be honest. But we got everything done, and it's all very raw, organic, and very real and intuitive. And I'm kind of very glad about this, that I got to experience this kind of stress and time limited music that it was almost impossible to do. But we pulled through. We made an album. It was the last day before we went to mastering. The last day, I mean the last night. During the night we were like making the last touches to the mixes, and myself and Tuomas had been up for forever, and Billy was the only one who, because it was Tuomas and I who made the album ready in the end, and Billy had done his job earlier. The keyboards were ready earlier, and and he also checked like the arrangement for the backing vocals. So, but all of that was like done. So he was like fresh and had slept well, and came to the last night of mixing, and we were like falling asleep with Tuomas all the time, between listening to the songs. And Ville was like, "Oh, can you wake up, next song." What do we do with this one? Totally just we couldn't hold our eyes open anymore. And then we got it ready. Tuomas pushed like sent the songs to Svante Forsbäck, the mastering guru engineer, and fell asleep in the studio. Like, so the next session started in the morning, and they came there like, "Okay, excuse me, you're sleeping. Can you leave the studio?" And I was the only one to make it to the mastering, and we were very, very tired. But yeah, the it's sometimes like that when a child is born. It's tough.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like to me that you guys needed some more mimosas there towards the end. Maybe
we should have.
That would have made the process
would have been
a little
good.
more pleasurable.
Yes, it would.
During all of the difficulties, challenges, do you feel that with this album, you guys have narrowed down what the DNA and sound of the band is going to be going forward, or you guys have such a variety of influences in your sound that's almost impossible to define?
Yeah, and the thing is that we don't think about those things too much. As a freedom fighter, I'm trying to stay away from all this analyzing and pre-decisions about what kind of songs and music we're going to do. I don't want to do music like that. I want it to be free and organic. So we ride what we feel like that day, whatever comes out. With this album, I said that let's not do the same mistake we did with the first one, that we said that we need more fast songs, or we need a mid-tempo song, and we need a slow one. So we decided that we are not going to discuss this thing. Like, we are not going to talk about the tempos at all. We're just going to do whatever we want, and then we see what we have. And that's what we kind of wanted to. We wanted to free ourselves from having to write, fast songs just because there's, we are lacking fast songs, up-tempo songs, if we don't feel like that, because that's like pushing. And in a perfect world, art would be free from all these things, but of course we live in a world of business and everything, so it's not totally free, but I'm trying to make it as free as possible. But that was a decision we made, and with this album, and even more, we said that if we're doing the next album, then we do not think about tempos even as much as we did with this album. So we really want to just go with the feeling, and we really don't analyze anything. We have all the songs ready. We have now we had long enough an album to what Frontiers wanted, like 4 days before the mastering. So we were writing all the time, but I still cut one song off from the album because I didn't feel it there. It's not that the song is bad. It doesn't belong to that album. So it was only after all the mixing and before I went to the mastering in the morning that I listened to the album twice and put the songs into the album order. That was the only place and time I ever thought about in what order should the songs be on the album in the morning before the mastering. And I was the only one, because yeah, it's me. It's me doing these decisions. So that was the only thing. And it's my, intuitive. I listened, and they kind of told me where they are supposed to be. I needed to trust the feeling that I got from the first one. And when I listened to it to the second time, I was like, yeah, that was right. Or no, that was wrong. But basically it was right.
Don't ask you
But you
about
have
that
to like really,
because I thought was
yeah.
really interesting. The opening track and the closing track, Reap and The Edge. I don't think you can put those two songs anywhere else. Reap has to be the opener and The Edge has to be the closer. I mean, we can argue about the other ones in between, maybe move one here and there, but those two songs I thought were really important. They were key because when I look back at 2020, the debut record, one of the things I noticed with that album is that from a structural point of view, is perhaps not as mature as this one is. This one to me feels more like a record. It has more a sense of beginning, middle, and end, not just a collection of great songs put together. Do you see the importance of those two songs above all others in terms of how the design of the album really works?
Yes, it's very important. Like what starts the album and what ends it. That's totally true, and it was kind of obvious, from the first listen, just before the mastering, that they should be it. And with this album, it was because we didn't have time, and it's, of course, it's my band, and I'm I'm the I'm the head producer, also executive producer, but I mean that the decisions I make are the ones that rule. So that's how the band works. We talk about things, but in the end, if I said that this is not the right song for the album, it's not the right song for the album. So that's like very clear. But and it was more clear with this album. I tried to, because I've always been a solo artist, so I tried with the first album to kind of, because I hadn't been writing with a band. I had always been writing, with myself, and always being the producer of the album. And I tried to kind of, it was like more listening, getting to know each other, giving more room to it, all kinds of things musically, and that's why it was so kind of versatile and all over the place in a way. I don't mean that, of course, we're still free from genre. We don't think about it. If you want to do a pop song, because a good song is a good song. It doesn't matter what genre it is arranged to. Mm-hmm. It is about the song structure and the melodies and harmonies, chords. So that's not what I think, what I'm talking about. But the whole style was like there was more of every one of us in the first album. It was like we all, walked midway to somewhere to meet. And with this album, it was more clear, like how it should go, that it's impossible to add 5 people's opinion to the vision. It doesn't work like that. There has to be just one, and then we talk about everything, and that's why we work. That's why what we realized from the first album, that we really work best. 5 is too much, or 4 is too much for songwriting. For us, the 3 of us works best, and that's what we want to kind of continue to do, because we work really, really well, and we have kind of a very clear vision of what we're doing, and the guys get where I'm going. So we kind of share a similar soul in music, that they get what I'm trying to achieve, even though they don't always get me. I don't mean that they always get me, but somehow musically we are from the same world, and we work together very well. Like with this album, like the 90s, because that's my golden era of listening to music, when I was a teenager, and I sucked in everything in music, and searched for hours for everything, you know, I love the 90s. The guys are so much younger than me that they have no memories, you know. They have listened to 90s later, you know, but they haven't lived it. I was a teenager then. It was, you know, it was the time when you had time to really listen to music. You know, I live for music. And so that's what you can, you know, hear, because of course the guys are geniuses. So they, of course, they know 90s music. So we were talking about like what we love about 90s, like what's the best thing, and I was playing them songs that they were like, whoa, what's this? But they can, you know, totally straight on got what's, you know, musically what's there. And it's so kind of easy to work together. And choosing this 90s, we didn't choose 90s, it chose us, because I was born like loving R&B and, you know, R&B and blues and that stuff. So it was like all my melodies, because usually like do chords first and the guys like play something there, a bass and keyboards, and then they go for a smoke, and they come back when I have a melody to present them, and then we talk about it. And there was a lot of R&B. Like we had to cut some off. There was like, and we're like, okay, that's too much. Okay, I'll take it back just a little bit. But it kind of, you know, the 90s chose to be on this album because it was kind of ringing and a lot of things with it. It was a decision. It was just, you know, just happened to be there.
You know, I find it really interesting that you said that you went through those health issues that even affected your voice and everything, because when I listened to this album, I felt like vocally this is a much stronger record than the debut album. You feel, you sound looser, you sound more organic, to use the word that you used earlier. Your range is outstanding. It's just a super strong album vocally. So considering the challenges that you were faced with, how did you overcome those challenges and then deliver a record that vocally is stronger than the debut album? Is it the mimosas again?
Yes, that's the secret. It's like a lubricant for the vocal cords.
I drink mimosas on the weekends, especially in the summertime. I love sitting outside, nice weather, drinking. My voice is not, it's not working for me.
Yeah, you have to get my recipe. I can make you a mimosa. Maybe that's the key.
Next time I come to Finland, I have to drink your mimosas. Maybe that will change.
Yes, definitely. I will make you a mimosa, and for the both of us. Yeah, I don't know. But it's funny because I don't feel that it's that I hear, because I've been inside the struggle. You know, I hear everything in my voice. I hear that I'm in fever. I hear, you know, that I'm sick, because I'm in a lot better condition now than I was like 4 months ago, like drastically. And when I sang the album, I wasn't in a very good condition. Like 4 days a week, I was in such a fever I couldn't do anything. But I just fought for it, you know. I just had to do it, and I really was just fighting to sing it, and I just had to get it out, and I had to concentrate on letting go of the perfection of thinking about too much, because I hear a lot of vulnerability there on the album, and that's me being sick in a way, and that's kind of maybe the honesty also what people hear, and the organic and raw thing there. And it's also that it was really organic, that I didn't have retakes. I didn't have, you know, I didn't retake except if there was something really wrong, you know, because I didn't have time to retake. So I had to kind of let things slip more than, because I think the mistake a lot of times that you just, you know, do it over and over again, and it loses something, you know. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. And make it so that it's kind of, you know, it has lost its magic.
Yeah.
usually on the demos, the magic is there. It's there's danger. And you usually, by the finished album, you kind of lose all the danger. But here it was like, it is organic because I had to be so fast. And also I felt that I didn't want to tune it to, like, it's not tuned to perfection. It's not, if there was something wrong, I took a retake, or some bits and pieces I fixed. But it's like I wanted to leave it like more organic, like things used to be, because nowadays everybody's like making and tuning everything to the perfection, so that it's not real anymore. It's so I think, because I hear like, oh my God, I'm not singing in tune in there. I'm like, I can't listen to the album because it's too raw for me. it's too honest. I'm like, oh my God, I'm shit. But maybe maybe in a year or so I'm able to, listen to it without, wanting to kill
look back
myself.
and appreciate it a little bit more.
Yeah, hopefully, because now I'm too close and I only hear the mistakes and what should have been done, the technical things that I didn't have time. Like, oh my God, I'm not going to tell, but there's like one song that when the song is ending, the mic has been, forgotten on the mic track, and there's like weird sounds, and it's a mistake that we're like, oh, fuck it. It's already there, so we couldn't change anything because, the time had ended. So there are a lot of things that we hear that it's just wonderful that nobody else hears them in, that way that we do, because we're like, oh my, because we were like, oh my God, what kind of a record did we do? Because it was so fast that, we didn't have time to kind of understand what we did. And everyone was like, oh my God. And I thought that I'm going to die in shame putting this album out. And it was the morning before the mastering when I listened to the songs twice to get the song order right. I kind of realized that, oh my God, yes, okay, it's like, it's okay, like it's gonna be okay. It's not like it's beautiful, and I cried in the end, for a relief that it wasn't that bad. That we thought, like everybody was talking like, oh my God, not them one Rolf, because they were not that close, but especially Tuomas and I, we were like, oh my God, like we're gonna die in shame because we were too close. We hadn't slept at all. I was singing the Japan bonus, which is they always ask for that. I don't know why.
Track or something.
Yeah, it's in the contract. So I was doing that. We did an acoustic version of or piano, and I with Ville from the Craver song, and it was just the night before the mastering, the previous night. So one day before mastering, I was singing it here at home, 2 a.m. and I said that I have to sing more quieter because my husband is gonna wake up, and all my family is gonna wake up if I use my voice, more. So the Japan bonus became what it is because it was in the middle of the night and everybody was asleep, and I sang it, and during the night when I had sang it, I sent it to Ville, who played the piano, and he was like, wow, okay, it's like this. Well, yeah, it's like that. go with it. But we actually like it. I like it very much. Like the Japan bonus is actually, it's very nice. It's like all in one. It's like one take, all in the moment. Very unperfect, but in a way very honest and beautiful. I don't know. I like it.
I think
one of my
that's the
favorites.
whole fingerprint of this entire record. Honest and beautiful. It's a very honest sounding, feeling record. I think that's the beauty of this album. At least that's what I connected with.
Thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for taking the time. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. It's always a pleasure to have you on the channel. We got to talk about you, your music, and mimosas. I mean, those are three great things to talk about on any day. So if I'm always excited to go to Finland, now I'm even more excited to go to Finland to try those mimosas.
Yes, you just send me a message when you're coming next time. So I will be preparing us some mimosas.
You'll be buying all the sparkling wine and all the orange juice that you can find. They're addictive.
Yes, I know. But aren't you glad that I'm a wine importer?
Yes, exactly. This all comes together.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
Yes.
It's perfect. I love it. I love it. I love how this all comes together.
Yes.
Thank you very much
for your own supply.
Yes, exactly. You know, they say not to get high on your own supply, but in this case, we will get drunk on your own supply. That's totally fine.
Yeah, because it's in the name of music.
Exactly. I love how you're putting it. I love it. Thank you very much for your time. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy your time between now and the release of the record, and best of luck for you and the gang with this album Hostage coming out April 21st on Frontiers Music. Smackbound, Netta. Once again, thank you.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Take care. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.